Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So what we're going to do today is we're going to work on our boards. I'm going to try to get these to sit properly together. They aren't sitting perfectly yet. I'm going to keep planing them until they sit nice and tight. So the idea is to get them to sit really nicely. There is a little bit of a stomach on one or two. So what I tried to do is even this one out. I'm going to plane this one down just a tad more in the middle, and it should work out perfect. And then what we'll do is we'll keep going. We'll keep going on them. There we go. We got those all done. Let me put this away. I'll leave it on its side because you don't want to ruin the blade. And we will sweep all this stuff up. So guys, I got them all lined up the best I could. I'm going to take them off the bench and mark them from 1 to 6. Now these things are a little bit short for our round circle on the top. So what I did is I grabbed some oak strips, and we're going to cut the thickness of this out of that strip, and we're going to put a couple of pieces in between. And that should give us what we need space-wise. Planer works really well. It just definitely makes a mess. I might have to order that catcher. Just gonna sweep it up a little bit, guys, because it's getting out of hand. Okay, so I've got it already, table saw already lined up. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut these to the thickness that we need. So we're just going to double check thickness. This is number 6 outside. And we're just tiny higher, and that's okay. That's good. Because then what I'll do is I'll plane that down. That's good. Okay, I'll cut another few out of that. And then we got to put number 5 up against that. Nice. 5. Cut another one. Okay, well that should work out perfect there, guys. This, of course, is number 1. And I should have more than enough room to make that circle. And what we'll do is we'll take this guy back up and take a look. Oh yeah, we're good. We got a little extra meat on both sides. That was kind of the game plan. So I'm just going to pencil this in just to get an idea. I think I did it. I did. Okay, so we need to cut a little bit out of this guy, a little bit out of this guy. I wonder if I move this way. Leave that where it is. This has got the crack in it, right? So I can get rid of that crack. Let me try that again. Yeah, we're good. Okay, so I only have to cut this guy. I can cut here. So 1, 2, and 3. All right, let's cut those off, and then we'll put them back in, and I'll explain to you why I'm doing that. And it's more just to try to clamp, to be able to clamp onto something. I need an edge. Okay, and I should be able to put that back where it was, more or less. And then I got this freestanding, that freestanding, cut that corner off. I can clamp those together. Beautiful. Okay, we should be good. And I'll cut off quite a bit of that crack piece there, which is good too, which is nice. Okay, let's cut that one. It's still a little cracked, but that's okay. That'll work. I'll fix that up after. So the game plan is I'll be able to clamp this together. So that was the whole idea. So I think I'm going to be okay because I can put a clamp. I'll be able to put a clamp on this. I can clamp 1 and 2 together, or 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, and 3, and then go from there. And let's glue this thing together and see where we're at. Okay guys, I've got the smaller sticks all prepped. So now we're gonna have to rock and roll and get I hope I have enough glue to finish everything, guys. In place. How did I do that? It goes there like that, I think, yeah. And that goes there like that. Okay guys, so I got her set there. She's glued. We're gonna let it sit. And once she's dry, we'll take the clamps off and we'll plane those pieces down and then we'll get ready to do the top. So guys, I got it all glued up. It's glued up real nice and strong. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna plane down these panels and we'll run a belt sander across it. I won't bore you with that. We'll use the new planer that I got and we'll do both sides and then I'll bring you guys back in once I've got it done. Okay guys, so I'm about 20 minutes in with the belt sander. She's looking pretty good. Not bad at all. For reclaimed wood, it's looking beautiful. So we'll get a few more minutes on this side and then I'll flip it over and I'll show you what the other side looks like before I start belt sanding it. And then we'll get ready to put a circle in this thing. So guys, that's what the other side looks like. Got some work ahead of me. But I'll get the belt sander going and I'll bring you in once I've got a couple passes on it and I'll show you what it looks like. So guys, that's about 20 minutes in there. So about 10 minutes per side here, or section. And we're looking pretty good. If you guys are wondering what grit I'm using, I'm actually using a 50 grit. So I'm taking off material, but I'm trying to get it nice and smooth. I will go down to like an 80, and then a 100, and then a 120, and then go that way, just to smoothen things out. But she's looking pretty good. Not bad at all. Well, I'll keep going, and then I'll bring you guys in when I'm ready to do the circle, and I got an idea, and hopefully that'll work. Okay guys, let me show you what I've been up to. So you remember my straight edge. I took the straight edge and I cut it with the quick cut, and I took my router apart, and this is a plate. Now this plate, I basically put it here, drill the holes out somewhat even, I think. Maybe not. I think we still clear. Yeah, well, we're okay that way. And we'll screw this in from the bottom. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to use a router to do our circle. Now let me bring you over to the plywood that I cut before. I want you to take a look at that. You see how it's wavy around the edges? Now that's what a jigsaw would do. And I'm hoping that this setup will give me a nice smooth edge. And I'll go nice and slow. And yes, I'll have to put a screw in the middle, but I'll put the screw in the middle from the bottom. And we should be good. So let me set it up. I'll put the camera on a tripod and let's see how she goes. So guys, I had to take that Makita out because he's missing a chuck, and the DeWalt one does not fit that chuck or spine or whatever you want to call it for the hold the bit. So everything I did, I got to take it apart and redo it. I'm hoping that some of the screw lines up. That would be nice. But for some odd reason, I don't think they do. Make some headway. So guys, the blade loosened up. I tightened it up again. Let's see if I can keep going. Okay guys, I'm through all the way around. It took me a bit. I went a little bit by little, and I was able to get through it. So let me unplug this just in case. Let me unscrew this. Let's put this down here. I have to put that back together. So we're going to need that still. But let me take this apart. Look at that. So messed up that one corner, but I will fix that corner. I'm going to take a piece of this skin here, and I will glue it in there with some super glue. And it's going to be bull-nosed anyway, so we should be good. Alright, let's put these two pieces of ply back down on this table. Actually, you know what we'll do? Is we'll put this down on the table. Like so. But that came out sweet. I'm very happy with that. Now we gotta still bullnose it, guys, so it's gonna look really nice. I'm gonna have to fix that a little bit. That's the top. But very happy with the way that looks. And of course, the mark that I had at the bottom with the screw is gonna be the bottom. See what's so I am down 39 3/4, which is fine. 39 3/4. I'm okay with that. Once I bullnose it. Okay, so the game plan here now is, because I wasn't able to put any joiners or any biscuits or anything like that, I want to do a piece, right out a piece here, and I want to put it in there, inlay it in, and glue it. Give this thing a little bit of extra sturdiness, because it'll go across these cross beams that I have in there, and of course I'll be able to strengthen it up a little. So what we want to do is we want to get a straight edge. I'm going to use this piece of oak. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to measure, kind of eyeball it. What do we at here? It's kind of hard to do that, isn't it? Well, that's 14. That should be okay if I just eyeball it. You just got to be square up against those pegs. Let me see my square. We want to keep it dead center. There. Square there. And square there. Well, I've got my pencil, I think. I did. pencil. Oh. Alrighty then. My pencil's in my pocket. So I'm just going to make a mark right across, like so. So if I'm under the correct understanding, I think that is a 1/4 inch, the router itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark maybe about 3 inches back. Back. I still have lots of room in there. And 3 inches back. And we'll just mark it right off the line I did. 1. To kind of give me an idea of where to stop. And I'm going to do the routed piece out here. So cover up that hole with the screw, of course, and then we'll cut a piece that fits into that, and then we'll let it dry, and then that's it for that. And then of course I'll have to sand it down and so forth, right? What I'm going to do is I'll cut it a little bit bigger, and then pop it in there. The ends will be a little on the round side, so I can cut it longer and then round off the ends. Put some glue in there, and we're off to the races. Okay guys, I got it cut. Fits in there good. Let's throw some glue, we'll tap it in, and we'll just let her dry. If there's any imperfections, I will fill it in with some wood putty later, but I think we're going to be okay. Tip off of that. That's good. I'm just going to fill I'm going to plane this down anyway, guys, but I just want to fill it up, make sure she's good. And that one piece that I got there, I'll keep this extra lid because I lose them all the time. But that extra piece there, I'll fill it in with some putty, and then I'll sand it down, and hopefully it will blend in. Then we gotta clean up our mess. this up. Now for major cleanup. We're going to move this and we're going to put it back on the table, and we'll take a look and see how it actually looks on there. Hoping it's going to fit good. You got to remember, we still got to finish the edges, and then we got to bullnose it. So there's still some work to do. And of course, I got to sand this still, right? I did a quick one too, but there's definitely you know, some time there to clean things up. But we'll get to that too. One thing about you know, working with wood, I find anyway, is, you know, if you're not really set up for it, it makes a mess. It makes a mess. You know, I'm willing to clean it, but it makes a mess. All right, so let's get this guy on top of that table, and I'll move you guys over, and we'll get you to look at what it looks like. All right. Now the part that's going to be facing up on this right now is actually the bottom, because that's where that inlay is, but that's okay. There you go, guys. I think she looks pretty awesome. Very happy with that. Well, for the fun part of cleaning everything up. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. From the guy that welds to the guy that makes furniture. I actually enjoy doing it. I really do. I have a lot of respect for carpenters and furniture makers. You know, you work with a natural substance. It's incredible. You know, it really is. And what makes this even more incredible is that it's all reclaimed. Most of it, anyway, except the flexi form and the base ply. But most of everything else is reclaimed. That makes me happy. Good morning, guys. We're back on the table. It's been a few days since I've been working on it. I've been real busy trying to catch up with stuff, and we're doing okay. We're almost caught up with a bunch of projects I've got on the go, but I really want to get this done. So the last, I guess the other day, or the last time I was working on this, we did the top and we did the underlay. Just to add a little extra strength. Now this is all glued in. It's glued in nice and tightly. We're going to plane this down, and then we're going to move into filling it and prepping it. We're going to bullnose this and clean up the sides. So there's a little bit of work to do here. We're also going to go ahead and we're going to clean up all this. We're also going to take care of laminating the bottom of this. So we got quite a bit to do. So let's get on it. Let me have a little bit of my Timmies this morning. Try to wake me up and go from there. But this is glued in real nice. The top looks really good. I'm excited about seeing how it's going to turn out. Still quite a bit of work to do, but that's okay. We're good. Let me take a zip and let's plane that down. Well, I want to add something here. So the other day I had said that if you guys watched my video for this planer, that this was a lock for the adjustment. It actually is not. What happens here on this planer is we have a guide. I'll grab the guide, I'll show you. And the guide goes into the actual planer, like so, okay? And you can be tightened. And that's to hold that in place. So you slide that back out, vice versa, okay? And basically, you put it there, tighten it up, and away you go. So now you've got a guide where if you're working up against something, you could keep it nice and straight. Nice little added feature. Okay, so let me plane that out. So I don't have it on much here. And that should work out. Took a little extra off of that, but that's okay. We'll get that out with the belt sander. One thing you want to do is be careful with this is where you put your unit. So I always try to make sure that it stays flush, it stays away from the blade. Just keeps it from smacking up against that blade. Get that out of the way. We'll get this belt sander on there. And we'll sand that down. Then I'll feather it out. And we should be good. What am I looking for here now? Okay guys, so you keep in mind that I'm always going with the grain of the wood. I had no choice but to go across this way. That's okay. I'll use the Orbital sander after and kind of feather everything out. I did make a couple of gouges with the planer, not a big deal. Those were high spots anyway. So what we're going to do is blend those out and we should be good. That looks perfect, guys. Let me get my little duster, dust it off, and then we'll blow off any excess, and we're going to fill in the little cracks. So, very happy with that. And we also got to fix this gouge that I did. All right, so let's blow off that. So what I'm going to do is I'll grab another battery, as we use batteries quite a bit in here. I'll grab a smaller one, a blower. We'll just blow off the inside of that. We got to fill that up. I'll try to move all the sawdust over. Okay, so we're pretty good there. So what we want to do now is we want to fill in any voids that we see. And there's a couple here that we need to fill in. So let's get on that. A piece of cardboard. You can tell Tim Hortons is a big part of my life and my family. Here, lots of coffee. All right, so let's grab some of this. Okay guys, so I've got the base or the body of the table on here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over this top with my belt sander really carefully. I'm just going to make sure this table is acting okay. It's acting a little wobbly. And the other side's not finished yet, so I got to make sure I finish that. All right, so let's run that Orbital sander around it a bit. See if I can get it to be a little smoother than it is. It's looking pretty good. Okay, well, I'm happy with that. Okay, so what I'm going to do before I flip it around to the other side is I'm going to fill in all these little nails that I did, brad nails that I put in, and because we'll have to sand the face of this after. But once I get everything else kind of where I need it to be, then I'll go across and sand all the facing. But that looks really good. So let's get some more of that wood putty. And this time I think I'm going to be doing it with my fingers. And when of course, when I flip it over to sand the other side, then I will also fill the holes from the bottom. But for now, I'll do where I can actually see properly. Okay, guys, so we're going to get this thing, we're going to flip it over. Before I do that, I'm just going to clean up here. Like that. I'm going to sand the other side. Because if you guys remember, I had filled it in and never sanded it. Well, we're going to do the same scenario with the belt sander. Now this is the bottom. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I like it to be smooth. Nice. So what I'm doing too also, guys, is you got to make sure that you're not gouging into the ply, okay? So I'm not trying not to remove any of the ply. It's more trying to level it off with the ply, okay? So I'm riding it on the fluting more so and trying to keep the belt sander as straight as I can. So I'm getting more of a 90 here, right? Oh, I'm going to move this around. And we'll just keep going around it. Now the beautiful thing about the bottom is, like I said, we don't really have to worry too much. I do want it to be smooth. I will run the Orbital sander around it just to make sure it's nice and clean. And then we'll move on to the very base of it and do the same. So let me keep going. Oh, we're good. Okay, so we're good with that. Now what I got to do is finish touching up all the brad nails that I got on the side here. And we'll do that all the way around. And then we'll let that dry. And then we'll get to that base, which we're going to laminate. And I'll show you guys how I laminate that. I haven't laminated something in, I don't know, 20 years. So it's going to be fun. I haven't done it in a long time. Well, maybe more than 20 years now. Okay, so we got to move this thing out of the way now. And we got to get the other base on there. So I'm going to grab a bucket. And I'll put a bucket over here. I'm going to try to bear hug this thing and pick it up. Really starting to get heavy. We don't want that to fall. All right. Okay. Now we start with this guy. This guy also had the filler in it that we got to clean up. So we got to clean up all this filler. Make sure she's nice and clean. All right, guys, she's looking pretty good. So this is the part that's going to sit on the ground. So what I need to do now is I want to drill 2 or 4 holes. So once we've got our pilot hole that we can get it centered in the table, but we need to drill a few holes. So I can put screws from underneath. I don't want to put screws, I can't get to the screws from the top. So we got to get screws from underneath. So I'm going to get my drill. Find it. I'm going to get a tape measure and we're going to mark it. Okay guys, so I got my drill ready. So I'm going to mark, what am I going to mark? I'm going to do 4 inches on the chalk line marks from the outside of the circle, from the circumference. There we go. And we'll do 4. There we go. Now, eventually, I think I might end up putting some felt at the bottom of that, and that'll cover those holes. Or we could put just some feet, do it that way. I can do it a couple of different ways. There we go. Okay, let me just give that another quick sand. I think we're pretty good. It feels good. Okay, so what we need to do now is clean up all the surfaces. We want to try to keep the dust on the ground is no big deal, but everything else has got to be cleaned up. So let's move power tools over here and get it out of the way, and I'll blow everything and dust it. Okay, so I'm going to get my laminate, and that's here. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a test fit, a dry fit on it. Let me grab a scissor. Now, you need that blade. Okay. I could fill in all the brad nails on this. I've done it in the past when I made something, I filled in all the brad nails and then laminated over it. If you don't sand it really well, you're going to see them all. So I'd rather take the chance of it being the way it is. Wow, guys. That's just like pretty well bang on. Look at that. I'm going to cut that and we'll put that on there like that. Okay. So there's not much cutting that has to be done until we get it actually on. And that's going to finish off that. And that should look really nice when it's done. So we're going to need a pusher. And I'm not quite sure where I had left that. That should do it. You can use a piece of wood too to push the laminate on there. Okay, so let's grab these guys I can use also. Okay, so we're using contact cement. It's Ultra Bond, heavy duty. You got to give this stuff a good shake. I am using a roller. Now, a lot of, you could use the spray adhesive if you like. Done that in the past. Actually, I had bought, it looked like a propane tank. And it had the adhesive in it, and you sprayed it, it came with a gun. It was awesome. We were doing a big project. It was really nice to work with. That worked out really, really well. This is a smaller project. This will work out just perfectly. Don't really need to be investing money into that. So the game plan here is to saturate the side of this with the glue, lay out the laminate, which is oak, do the inside, cover it, and let it sit for a few minutes. Once it sits for a few minutes, it'll get real tacky. Then we go ahead and start putting things together, putting it on. Now, what I most likely will do is I will get it to be tight. I'm going to flip this around. I'm going to get it to be as tight as possible to the bottom, or we can leave it that we cut it on both sides. We could do that. We'll see how it goes, which way it'll sit nice. I'm more concerned about it sitting as flush as possible to this guy and the joint piece to look somewhat perfect. There is a couple of tricks with the joint piece where you can use a steel brush and gouge it a bit and make it join. There's that way. We'll figure something out to make it look somewhat even. But it's looking pretty good right now, so I'm happy with that. This has got some two-way tape on it or some glue so it doesn't split, but I think we're going to be okay. All right, so let me put this out of the way for a second. We'll just roll it up gently. Now this stuff will break and crack, so you got to be real careful that you're not gouging it or smacking it around or mishandling it too hard. We're going to get our screwdriver. And we're going to open this guy up. Should be in a well-ventilated area, so I'm just going to crack open the bay door a bit. Just so we don't die of fumes. And where did I put the container? It's up here. We'll use that brush for the next one. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take and pour what I think I need and put the lid on it. Now, this stuff here will make a mess, so I am going to put it on this, because that wood I'm not too concerned about. So I'm going to take this guy, we'll saturate it up, and then we're going to roll it. Okay, so we're just going to leave that for a few minutes, and then we're going to proceed to put it on. And it should work out beautifully. Leave this guy here. So let's give that a few minutes, guys, and then to get tacky, and then we'll start putting it on. When I do put it on, I'm never going to start my laminate on a previous seam or a crack in this ply, okay? You'll see there's one here. There's a seam somewhere on the other side. But I always start on a side with there's nothing there, okay? Like no cracking or any seams. And that'll work out much better. Okay, so give this a minute. And then we'll go from there. Okay, guys, she's pretty tacky. She's ready to rock and roll. We're going to start off with this guy. We're just going to lean this guy on the outside. We're going to move it. It's going to stick pretty quick. So we want to take it. I'm going to rub that just with my hands for a second. Okay. And I'm going to take my scraper, and it's a plastic scraper, and we're just going to put pressure, even pressure. Wait. I'm going to be careful we don't break it. Even pressure, guys. Now you could do this with a piece of wood. Just get it rounded off nice and smooth. That'll work. And move that up here. Now we're just kind of where we need it to be. Now, we need a clean, sharp knife. And what I will do is put a new blade on. And then we're going to do a cut there when we join that piece together. We'll put this blade back in there, guys. We'll use that on the day that we really need a blade. There we go. Now we need a straight edge. So I am going to get find my square. Okay. Not there. Nice. All right. So what I'll do is I'll take this guy and put him up against there. I'm just going to keep cutting away, guys. I cracked that. That's okay. Don't panic. Just push this back. Make sure you don't crack it too far. Without destroying it. See how it grabs? And we'll peel this one out of the way. Just a bit of a challenge without snapping it. And then we'll put pressure back on it, guys. And we'll make sure that this stays glued on there. And now this can be lightly sanded. I'm going to stop playing with it. I'm going to let it dry up. I feel like if I keep playing with it, I feel like I'm going to mess things up. So we'll let it dry, and then we shall move on to the next. But I'm quite happy with the way that looks. So guys, while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and sand the actual table. So what we want to do is get rid of all that wood putty I had on it. Well, that's good enough for a rough coat. And then we'll get some finer sandpaper after and go into it, which is good. Happy with that. So we got to work on the top. We got to sand that. I'm going to let this dry a little bit longer, just to make sure that we don't mess anything up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this over that and move the top back up here. So let me put this on its side. We might be able to work this sooner than I thought, because it looks like it's drying pretty quick. We'll just put that there for now. And let's get the top back up on here. So we can keep moving. My coffee. See if I can do it with the rotary sander. Okay, guys, I'll get my bucket down here and I'll do the sides because I had filled it all in. And we'll flip it around and double check the other side. She is looking pretty good, but I got a lot of excess stuff here that we got to clean up. There we go. Very happy with that. Okay, so let me get the router all set up, and then we'll get her going. Okay, guys, I'm just going to keep going. Nice and easy. I'm in no rush. There we go. We got the first one off. Now what I'm going to do here is there's a little piece here. I'm just going to take my X-Acto knife and lightly carve that out. So we're going to take our straight edge again, and we're just going to make sure that I'm not going to overwork the corner, but I got most of it under control. All right, and that's off. So we're going to get my thing here again. We're just going to push up against it. Make sure that we're as tight as we can be. That looks pretty good. Okay, guys, bring you in a little closer. So there's the top with the bull nose. We did the same bull nose that we did on the fluting. We did it on the top. And there's my base. Now I got some putty that's on the sides that's got to be sanded, but she's ready to rock and roll. So now it's assembly, stain. I got something else in store for this thing, and I'll show you. But this video is getting a little long, so I think I'm going to cut it here. If you guys watched to this point, I truly do appreciate it. Please consider subscribing. It is truly going to help me out. And throw me a thumbs up if you like. Thanks, guys. Thanks again for watching. I appreciate it.